Hi guys, today I'm just going to be talking about the Gusto Archetype. I'm just going to use this video as kind of like the one thing where people can, sort of just watch and maybe understand more about Gusto. To be honest, it's not that much to understand, but it's just like a video where I talk about everything all at once, rather than just post out, shitty deck profiles every so often. So I'll just be going over all the cards of the Gusto Archetype. I may mention some ones that aren't in the archetype that you could consider using, but this is just going to be me going over it. This will be mainly main deck things because extra deck you can honestly do whatever the fuck you like. You have options. That's all I'm saying. So yeah, Gusto. The first thing you have to understand about Gusto, I guess, would be in all honesty, the Gusto archetype is not fantastic, and I mean this in the most loving way possible. Some decks just don't really have what it takes, and the reason Gusto isn't fantastic is because I would say mainly two reasons. One reason is because it depends on your opponent doing things. Like, the deck doesn't really do a lot. Depends what kind of variant you play, but it really can't do that much by itself. It really needs your opponent to, actively attack into you if you are playing like a variant like this. There are other variants where you can just focus on making rank 6s, but I'll talk about that later on. But that's basically it. You just kinda wait for your opponent to attack into you, and then you do things. How many times they attack into you, I don't know, but generally once or twice is just enough. But still, it depends on your opponent doing things. And that's kinda like where the archetype kinda fails. Another thing is, most archetypes, they actually have, reasonable support, have a means other than battle of getting rid of things. And even in Gusto itself, Gusto has Daigusto Goldos, which is shuffle 2 back and destroy a monster on your opponent's side of the field. And that, like, every single archetype has some way of getting stuff on the field. Shadows have Construct, which basically kills everything. Satella Knights have Delta, Detach and Destroy, Light Swan, all that. The Cloth, and then the Cloth have Trish, all that sort of stuff. So everything can kind of get stuff on the field. And you are kind of trying to play a game of protect freeze. And unlike other archetypes that can actually search their stuff to protect it, you really can't. So this archetype does, have places where it could use some improvement. And we're actually missing the penguin. Well, if they were going to make it, which is this little guy in the back of Pilika's art. Not sure if you can see that. But we don't actually have that little penguin dude yet, which we were hopefully going to have since Noble Spirit Beast, which is apparently Gusto plus ages into the future have this dude, which is clearly the penguin. At least I think so. So back to Gusto. That's just kind of like an intro. Gusto is not really a fantastic archetype. Not that it's not fun. It's just that it's going to be pretty hard to compete with it. So if you're going to play Gusto, play it as a fun deck. That's all I'm saying. So yeah, starting from the bottom, not that far down, we're going to be talking about some of the basics of Gusto. For this type of Gusto, where you just have monsters that you special summon over and over again, you just need Winda Goldo, which is here, and Eagle. Winda doesn't get her effect off unless your opponent's monster attacks into it. Goldo dies. Goldo gets his effect off whenever he gets destroyed, but he can miss timing. And Ego, which is by battle. It doesn't matter how he gets attacked. Like, you could attack into it with your opponent's monster if you're having to play Creature Sobo or something like that, which is a good idea. But yeah, that could happen. So, I play 3 Goldo. No matter what kind of variant of Gusto you play, it's almost important to always play 3 Goldo. Unless you replace it with another level 3 tuner. But, if you want to play something that involves Goldo, play 3 of it. Because Goldo is just amazing. And Goldo just makes your life easier. Yeah. Other things. That's pretty much it. But Winda can search any of the tuners, so it's Falco, Goldo, or Eagle. Eagle can search Winda, Cam, and Pilika. Goldo can search Winda, Falco. That's not really that important. Once you pick it up, you'll be able to play with it fine. you can play stuff like Gusto. Actually, no, I'll just keep going. Gusto Squirrel is pretty much never used. It's if it gets destroyed by a card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can spirit summon one level 5 or higher Gusto monster from your deck. If you are playing the things that are 5 or higher, which is Breeze or Windar, that means Squirrels is not a fantastic card because it means you have to play, you know, Windar and Breeze. Not that you can't, it's just that you're going to draw into them, and when you do, you're not going to be happy. That's all I'm saying. But Squirrel's not like a fantastic choice. I don't see anything you can do with Squirrel. If you can, please show me. I'd be very interested. Yeah. Oh, damn it. Okay. Kamui is something I actually want to play. I'd play one Kamui. Or you can play multiple, but I just think that having Winder there is nice because you get to block more attacks. But Kamui is flip, spirit summon one Gusto tuna monster from your deck, and that's any of the tuna monsters. So that's probably level 3, 2, or 1 would be your options. And Kamui, you know, can single summon for level 3 for stuff like Misper Clausulus, or make Librarian immediately, which is very useful if you happen to have you know, Pelika in hand or the emergency teleport, which is probably like the best use of Kamui, to be honest. And or you could also get Falco, make a rank 2, or make Dagusto Falcos. And yeah, Kamui is very nice, but the only thing is you have to set it first. Which in a lot of cases, for example, if you open Winder, it'd be a lot better to open Kamui instead. But if they keep attacking you, it's probably best to hold onto a Winder. I could play, you know, like one Kamui, one Winder just to see how that goes. I'm actually pretty interested to see how that goes. Yeah. That's probably what I'd do. Maybe. Needs more test. Falco I play one of. The reason I play one Falco actually is because it's a level 2 tuner and it's nice. The only reason I actually have it is because of this one combo, which is Cleric discards Griffin, searches Falco, makes Librarian, and then with the Pelika you banished from Cleric, you get the Golda that you assume you have in the grave already, and you make freeze. So you have Librarian as freeze. But I don't know. I might take out Falco for Psychic Jumper. Just because some days you're just drawn to Cam and you have the emergency teleport and you need freeze. That's probably why I play it over that. But Falco's not all that important, and sometimes when you're drawn to Falco it's not great. But I just think Falco looks really cool. That's why he's here. Otherwise, I'd probably replace him with Psychic Jumper, most indefinitely. Gusto Griffin has been like one of my favorite cards for a long time. I just think Gusto Griffin is really cool because you get discard and you get effects, which means you can do things. I actually think it's kind of like the only searcher or reliable searcher Gusto really has. It doesn't even have any restrictions, so you can summon, you know, Reese and Windar off it. There's no restriction on that. It's just really cool. He's level 2. Unfortunately, you can't, you know, search him in the loop thing with Golda, Windar, and Ego. Well, you can, but after he dies, you can't really search anything else, which is a little bit sad. Which is why I play 3 Mathematician just to put him in the grave as soon as possible. Or you could also just put, you know, like Golda in grave and teleport freeze, stuff like that. Mathematician just makes setting things up easier. Of course, it's not. This deck has no shadows, but you know. Supply Squad is probably something you can put in here. Just saying. But this is just 40 cards for now, and things will be changed. Winder, I think I already mentioned. Same thing with Golda. Kodor. When this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends to the graveyard, you can special summon one Wind Psychic monster with 1,500 or less defense from your deck. There are a few things that are wrong with this card. Well, not necessarily wrong, it's just that you are never, ever going to destroy anything with Kodor. Ever. It's too small. Unless you play like Burden on the Mighty and Stumbling, everything's in defense position. No, you'll never get Kodor's effect off. Never. Pelika is the only recent Gusto support card, I was honestly expecting the Penguin to also come out with Pelica. However, I don't think it's coming out ever. If it does, I'll be so happy. But Pelica gets a Wind Tuner from the grave. That's any Wind Tuner, also with Kodo as any Wind Psychic monster, which may include Ghost Fairy, Alphobia, Psyblocker, stuff like that. But Pelica, she gets back a Wind Tuner. It's any Wind Tuner, and this deck is mainly going to be stuff like Goldo and Falco to make, depending when you summon it, maybe Librarian, or Goldos and Freeze, which is the main thing. It's the one card's Freeze. It's amazing. You can make rank 3s like Totem Bird, Muse Rhythm. The only restriction is Wind, which a lot of the time isn't really a restriction, but sometimes it is, and it gets a little bit annoying, but you just kind of have to deal with it since this is a Gusto card, and with all the Gusto cards there always seems to be just a little something that just makes the card not as good as it could be. But in all honesty, the Wind thing never really comes up as an issue. Gusto Thunbolt. Gusto Thunbolt's a really cool card. At the end of the battle phase, if it's in the graveyard because it was a strawberry battle, you can banish a Gusto monster from your graveyard, special summon one Wind Psychic type monster with 1500 or less defense from your deck. That actually includes Reese and Windar, which is kind of funny. But Gusto Thunbolt I actually think is a really cool card. I would play it, but the only issue with Thunbolt is if you search Thunbolt, people are going to stop attacking into you, presumably, because they don't want this to happen. And then they're going to do that thing where they use the thing that their archetype has to get rid of your monster without using the battle phase, which I mentioned earlier. That's like the issue with Thunbolt. That's the only issue with all these Gusto cards. Gusto also gets incredibly destroyed by stuff like Breakthrough Skill. A lot of things do, but Gusto in particular. So, because Gusto only has like one play. Not really, but it sort of only has one important play. And after that, it's just horrible. Nobody really uses Musto. Musto is kind of like the world's slowest breakthrough skill. Once per turn, you target one Gusto monster in your graveyard and one face-up monster on the field. Shuffle the target from your graveyard into the deck and negate the effect of the target on the field until the end phase. It's not even until the end of your opponent's next turn. But it's like, it is just the world's slowest breakthrough skill, really. But if you search Musto, you know, you kind of want to do a play with Musto, which there aren't many of. But it is level 4 and Wind, so you could always make, you know, Chidori and stuff like that. I've completely missed Cam. Cam's like one of the most important cards in Gusto because Cam shuffles your things back so you can keep the really annoying loop going. And that's the whole point of Cam, and the reason most decks will play 2 Cam is so Cam can shuffle herself back. But Gusto has other cards that can shuffle things back as well. Quillpin of Goldos, which is not actually a Gusto card, so you can't add it back with Freeze. It's pretty bullshit, but I'm not complaining too much about that, because Contact is just as nice. Sort of. Apart from that, there's like, a lot of the time, you won't even care that you drew Cam until, oh wait, no, I said that wrong. You won't even care about having one Cam because you just won't draw it. But some days you will draw it and it will be the worst day of your life. Reese is kind of like a creature swap. You do go a little bit minus from it and it's not all that worth it, which means it's probably a better idea just to play creature swap because it's a lot less dead, or you could just play Psychic Jumper, which I recommend. And Windar, Spirit Summon a level 3 or lower Gusto monster in your graveyard if it destroys something by battle. Again, it's one of those things that it's never going to happen because it's 2k. If you happen to be able to summon Falco at the same turn you get out of Windar, I will be incredibly impressed because it will make it 2.6k, which is a lot bigger, to be honest. In fact, you could probably make like a combo just to do this, which would make a hell of a laugh, but you know, this can get back Pelica, which gets back Tuner, which makes plays. But it's a level 6, which means you can use it for stuff like Dragonity Gusto. For the Synchro monsters, Eagles is level 7 and it's fucking horrible. Because once the turn during your interface, you can banish a wind monster from your graveyard to target one face down card your opponent controls and destroy that target. Now, if you have a look at all the things that could be face down, if we take back row for example, and they have battle traps and you want them to attack, you kinda have to wait until the end phase to destroy the face down, one of the face downs, just because you don't trust it. Which just means playing Lance is probably just the easier thing to do, instead of make this. Like, dedicate 2 cards to making this, and then having to wait to banish something from your grave, because it face down. It's just not worth it. Spheres is the main card, which means, in English, your opponent takes all the battle damage with the Gusto monster you control, and it can't be destroyed by battle. But, it can certainly be destroyed by everything the fuck else. So that's why half the deck is dedicated to protecting this thing. Which is a little bullshit, but this card is pretty bullshit too, but there's just a lot worse bullshit around. I mean, Gusto was probably the thing like back in the day, but now it's just a little just because of what the format's looking like right now. Gusto is just not the thing, you know, they can't stand on its own 2 legs. Daigusto Goldos kills a monster by shuffling 2 Gustos back. And it's good, but a lot of people play more than one of this. I just think one's enough because I want to play other things as well. Daigusto Falcos. Daigusto Falcos is something I don't really want to play, but it's just kind of there because, I don't know, I could honestly just replace it with Mistbird, Clauseless. But it's a level 4, which is the only reason I play it, because Chidori is a piece of shit. This thing. Daigusto Phoenix. If you happen to make Daigusto Phoenix out in a proper Gusto deck, you are my hero. Nobody will play this in Gusto unless you were heavily dedicated to Kamui Flip, Spiritual Summon Falco. And, well, Phoenix is 3k direct, right? But if it's not direct, it doesn't do too much. Especially since stuff like Construct is floating around when Gusto can't even do any damage. But this is just, I don't even understand anymore. But Contact with Gusto is probably the most important spell, as well as the only Gusto spell, where you shuffle 2 Gusto monsters back to kill a face-up thing, and you can add it back with freeze. The only really important thing is that, you know, you can shuffle things back. That's probably the most important thing, to be perfectly honest, because, you know, you can't really do too much else. Duststorm Gusto is basically a trap stun for whenever a Gusto monster is going to attack, which means you'd probably be better off just playing trap stun. Blessings for Gusto is the best trap Gusto has, in my opinion, because you get to Spirit Summon something from your graveyard and shuffle 2 things back, and you can add it back with freeze. This thing can save your life. But yeah, summoning anything off Blessings is just the most incredible thing. And it has Cam on it, which instantly makes it good. Whirlwind of Gusto just means you have no monster you can live, I guess. But it's just not a really good card because you have to have no monster on the field, which probably means you're in a really crappy position. So you'd probably need more than Whirlwind to save your ass, but that's just how I feel. The rest of this video, I don't know, will be dedicated to some stuff. In response to Sobo Possum Bear, if you want to do a Dragoonity Gusto build, by all means go ahead. Dragoonity has the best Winged Beast support, hands down, of anything, ever. Winged Beast and Dragon support, out of anything. So if you wanted to do it, go ahead. Just out of Dragoonities, Ravine's no longer a thing, so Ravine can no longer discard Griffin and search some stuff. But that's not going to stop me from actually making a build that does that. But of course you know the basic Dragoonity things, what Dragoonities do, I assume. Depending on how you want to play it, you could play Dragoonity Darkspear if you wanted to. Just because Dragoonity Darkspear is a level 3 tuner, and you can... Freeze doesn't care what the tuner is, as long as the other monster is a Gusto, non-tuner Gusto. And Phalanx means you can play Cam and all that good stuff, but you're probably not going to be focusing on the Gusto loop thing. More like using mainly Dragoonity tuners, purely because whatever else I don't really know what you want to play with, but Windar is probably one of your best bets because Windar means, one, you get things back, and also because Windar's a level 6, which means you can make rank 6s and you could do rank 6 shenanigans, you know, with Ptolemy, M7, which Dragoonities do like to make occasionally. Among their other rank 6s, which are important, like, you know, Gauntlet Launcher and all that jazz. With Mist Valley though, I honestly don't know what you're planning on doing with Mist Valley. I do know is Mist Valley, Divine Winds in Mist Valley was like the greatest thing to ever happen to anyone. Divine, why am I not finding it? Divine Wind. Divine Wind in Mist Valley is like the only relevant spell if you do want to put Mist Valley in it. I wouldn't recommend it unless you had some OP broken combo, which somehow probably involved Transmodify. Because the issue with Mist Valley, as with a lot of decks, is because they don't really have sort of like an option outside of Summon Apex Avion. That's really like the only thing it's good for. None of the other cards actually do much, which is kinda sad. But it's the same for Gusto really. I mean, the only card that really does anything in Gusto is Freeze, and the rest of the thing is just to keep Freeze alive, or do the Freeze kill thingy. That's actually it. But, you know, a lot of decks have like one-trick ponies, but this is just one of the shittier versions. I honestly wouldn't recommend you putting Mist Valley in it and just focus on Dragoonity and Gusto, because one of the issues Gusto has is because I'm not sure if you noticed, but the monster count is pretty damn high. And the reason it's pretty damn high is because, you know, the thing that you're trying to do already involves a lot of monsters, so if you put more monsters in it to do your Dragoonity things, Dragoonities also need a lot of monsters. Well, not as much as Gusto, but they do need monsters. Which means if you want to do like a combination of the few, you might have to, you know, compromise here and there. And just focus on something you want to do. With deck building, don't try and do everything like all at once. I'm guilty of this all the time, which is why Falco is still here and Griffin is still here, but that's just because I'm a bad player. If you want to play Dragoonity Gusto, by all means go ahead, but don't play or build the deck, rather, as Dragoonity Gusto instead of Dragoonity and Gusto. By that I mean how Dragoonities would normally play. Try and ignore that for the most part and focus on what the decks can do together, like the interactions, the combos. Think of that first and then you'll probably get a good idea of what your deck wants to look like, rather than just play Dragoonities like you have one turn of just Dragoonity sitting up and then you'll put in little Gusto things, because that'll look really messy and it'll take a lot of deck space. And to be totally honest, even if it's 60 cards is less than you think it is. And that's probably all I'm going to say about that. But yeah, I don't actually know too much about Dragoonities. I know a little bit. And now the Dragoonity spell's actually out. Dragoonity Spear of Destiny, and I know you can have some fun with that. I know that for a fact, but I really like Dragoonities as, you know, Wing Base and Dragon support is really nice, and you're probably just going to be making a Gusto build that focuses on rank 6s, and not the, you know, crashy killy sort of thing. So yeah, this was kind of like my overview of Gusto. If anyone has any questions, please tell me, or, you know, recommend another archetype to talk about. I just have too much to say about Gusto because I've been playing for so fucking long. But I would say in summary, Gusto is a fun archetype. Don't take it too seriously if you play Gusto. The deck uses a lot of monsters. If you're gonna play anything with Gusto, try and, you know, save as much on the monster space as you can. And probably numbers of monsters to play. I would say Eagle 2 to 3. If you for anything in the Gusto sort of like recycle loop, it's really nice to have like 3 of everything, just so you never have to worry about running out. That goes with Pulika as well, and that's probably the final note before I say goodbye.